Welcome to Chai
Very
Pe.
good evening.
Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to SGAF's Chai Pe Charcha, a very innovative program curated by uh, our very own Vandana ma'am and her team, whereby we meet on a regular basis and discuss on the practical aspects of our practice and the nuances that require uh, us to delve into the minute details and take out the real issues that we face in real life. So today we have with us Preeti Mandore, and of course Vandana ma'am. Uh, to give you a brief about Preeti, uh, Preeti Mandore is a practicing chartered accountant since 2002 and has been a fellow chartered accountant since 22 years now. She is presently a senior partner in NPSR and Associates Pune, Nigdi and Jalgaon, which specializes in income tax, GST, RERA, subsidy work and also bank finances. She has been giving professional training to young chartered accountants by training in communication, leadership skills, presentation skills, group dynamics, shaping attitudes, and having been taking workshops in on these topics right from the inception of such course in Jalgaon ICAI. She has been faculty in finance in various management institutes in the past and is regular speaker for case study discussions and financial skill training since all these years. She has been mentor to new industries in Jalgaon MIDC as a professional chartered accountant in terms of getting subsidy, bank finance, and building healthy financial structures. She has been a female representative as a co-op member in the Jalgaon branch of ICAI and been awarded for contribution towards professional upskilling women professionals. She's also an active member of the Rotary Club of Jalgaon, Gold City, and has been the president of the club in 2014-15. Promoter of Type 1 Diabetic Club 1 Adda in Jalgaon, which supports kids with diabetes at young age with education and medical care, and has been awarded Young Diabetic Achiever Award. The organization supports 80 diabetic kids with medicines and psychological support, which is CSR spending of more than 18 lakhs now. She has been an initiator to form the study circle in the college, a group discussing current topics at ICFI. She has been awarded the Best Students Award, and she has been awarded many awards in debate and elocution competitions during her school and college life. She has been appreciated for possessing domain knowledge by ICFI University during training programs in 2005 and awarded the Best Finance Faculty of Western Region. She has tremendous interest in setting up systems and creating worthy business centers and also loves interaction with younger generation and traveling all around. This is what Preeti's profile reads, but I have met her personally. And from my side, I would like to say, Preeti, that you are an inspiration. And with the tremendous amount, the body of work that you carry with you, and the work that you do for the diabetic kids is commendable. And kudos for that. And
Thank you.
of course, now I come to my favorite person, and that's Vandana ma'am. Uh, she has, I don't need anything to read into to introduce her. She has been a part of the profession for more than 25 years now. She has been working in the accounts field for more than 35 years and has taken up the responsibility of her family and the close members of her family since a very young age. She's an iron lady, and she's a person whom I look upon to. She has been instrumental uh, in uh, in tally knowledge, spreading the tally knowledge. I'm not finding words because I'm so overwhelmed
Grooming,
introducing.
grooming the woman
Yes, no, I'm
power.
so
See, this
overwhelmed
empowering
introducing you.
woman is, finding out the qualities within them. So this Alpa is
Yes.
our, बोलते ना, मेरी खोज.
Correct. So I'm not finding words for you, Vandana, because I'm
नहीं, it's
overwhelmed
okay.
introducing you.
Overwhelmed है. So
And
thank you not coming between this kind word. I'm happy. दो लाइन में है, मैं भी रोटेरियन हूँ. So it was nice connecting
yes,
with Preeti. And I'm a passionate singer and a motivational speaker. And we all three share today this dais together is so happiness कि गोवा कॉन्फ्रेंस खत्म होते होते ही हम नेक्स्ट वीक में मिल चुके हैं. तो वो अपने आप में बताता है. प्रीति सावला जी को हम बोल सकते हैं कि हर vision of women empowerment and young members committee is really working hard. ये कॉन्फ्रेंस में
Yeah,
आप
correct.
एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट हो ही पाते हो. आप आज एक
yes,
जलगांव,
yes.
एक घाटकोपर मुंबई, शिल्पा एंड पूजा तुलसियन फ्रॉम
Correct,
समवेयर
correct.
joining us. So Pooja was first in Borivali. Now I think she has migrated to some other state, but still she is joining all the programs. So we must thank technology. And now not coming, the excitement everyone wanted to know is what you tell us and what's hot in MSME. That's the first question I should start with Chai Pe Charcha.
Yeah. So actually, if you remember, Vandana, some years back, that was before 1780. Now, like, you have this pre-Christ and post-Christ era. Like that, we have pre-GST and post-GST era. So before GST, what we as chartered accountants had were very typical practices. Like I practice income tax. So sorry, I can help you with VAT maximum, but when it comes to excise or service, it's a niche thing. So I don't practice there. Somebody else practices in service and excise. So go to that particular practitioner. So we had these niche things then. So after GST, it became a compulsion. It was a government pushed क्या कहते हैं उसको increase in practice for us that we should know GST if you want to practice in income tax. Okay. And if you want to practice in GST also, you should know income tax. So both the things came hand in hand, and you have to know both the things if you at all want to practice or want to advise your client on anything and everything at all. Now, this 43BH thing that has come recently, I mean, it has not come recently, it had come last year in February. But why did we wait till this February? Was that we were expecting that this 43BH would face an amendment or something, which did not happen. Like Sitaraman was too confident कि इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, तो वो continued है. So this 43BH introduced something called as micro small enterprises into our vocabulary. And now this has, I mean, there are so many sections of income tax which just kind of mingle with particular micro and small, and everywhere you require it whenever it comes to even putting up in a balance sheet or whenever disclosure norms are come. So now, as GST was new to us, now it has become some part of our practice. In the same fashion, MSME will also be very much a part of our practice. And that's what is hot about MSME. And that's why we are discussing this today on Chai. Yeah.
So going forward, what MSME will bring to table, like what exactly can you explain, like पहले तो MSME का full form, उसके how you fall into micro, that also viewers will like to know. ये सबके लिए
Yeah.
जरूरी नहीं है सबको पता रहेगा. There are public also watching us live, so there are maybe
Yeah.
businessmen, some small entrepreneurs. So let's make the awareness to them what exactly MSME stands for and what is it
Okay.
bringing on the table.
So, okay. What is MSME? MSME is micro, small, and medium enterprises. So it's just an abbreviation of MSME. Okay. Now, what are micro enterprises? Micro enterprises are those enterprises whose capital outlay is up to 1 crore and the turnover is up to 5 crores. Small enterprises are those whose capital outlay, that's plant and machinery and other expenses, go to 10 crores and their turnover is 50 crores. And medium enterprises are those enterprises whose capital outlays are 50 crores and turnover is 250 crores and above. Now, why MSME is important? I mean, why are we even discussing it? What, as she rightly said, even the public at large should look into it, is that MSME forms the backbone of every country's economy. To give you an example, initially when Japan was trying to compete with US, all that Japan had in its mind is that it has to be number one in whatever it wants to do. So at that time, US was the highest in manufacturing of cars. So a team of Japan went to US to check out how do they do it. There they found that there's a huge conveyor belt, and at a time there are 1,000 cars which are produced, and like the chassis is made and the cards are produced. When Japan came back on table, it understood that it doesn't have that kind of infrastructure, it doesn't have that kind of capital, and it doesn't have that kind of time to have such a big conveyor belt and to produce 1,000 cars or more than that at a time. So it came up with its own idea of economies of small scale. And if say for example वहां पे 1,000 कार एक बार बनती थी, so they formed a conveyor belt जहाँ पे 100 कार एक बार बने. And what they understood out of it is that whenever there is a change in technology, they were the first to adopt it. They were the first to introduce customization. They were the first to help out. So, for a developing country like India, what we really want more than a large scale to fail, we want these small, medium sized enterprises to come up with innovative ideas. The ones which work will work on a larger scale too. And this is why every government, so also on the basis of its employment generation capacity, on its basis of returns to capital, on all these aspects, and also impact that it gives on to the community. Inclusive development happens all over area wise. Also, the development happens, and also over the strata. So that's why for manufacturing and an agri economy like ours, MSME holds huge amount of importance. So this is what is micro or small or medium enterprise refers to.
What is on the table में what addition you will like to do कि और क्या फायदे हो सकते हैं why मतलब पहले तो उद्यम का रजिस्ट्रेशन मैंडेटरी है कि नहीं
हाँ,
how see
तो
I am having turnover but वो गवर्नमेंट को कैसे पता चलेगा so there will be some procedural aspect need to be adhered to correct
yeah, correct. So whether we should get registered. So basically, when you go to say कि anything is a backbone of an economy, and when I say that MSME is a backbone of economy, this is not something which is hidden from the government as well. So government definitely wants to push MSME. So whatever are the bottlenecks that happen in the functioning of an MSME, these bottlenecks are removed by government by giving some schemes or by giving some benefits to these MSME. And if you are interested in availing these benefits, you might as well get registered. Actually, we as chartered accountants, I don't know how many of us ourselves are registered, but registration is pretty simple a process. You go on the site, and over there you are asked some very basic few questions. It's a very simple process. And over there, not just that the process is simple, it is connected to GST site as well as income tax site. So the WDV of your plant and machinery is picked by income tax site, and your turnover is picked from the GST site. And thereby they arrive at those figures whether you are S or M or S again. So whether you are a micro or a medium or a small, that they define on that basis, and accordingly you get this Aadhaar certificate. Like in income, like you have an Aadhaar for your individual identification. In the same way, this is an Udyam Aadhaar. That is, your enterprise is given an Aadhaar number. And this number is very helpful to possess. Now, to go further to the next question, Vandana,
see
what are actually the bottlenecks?
I immediately had a question in my mind. Okay, suppose
Yeah,
you said today I am enrolling for the Udyam. Okay. So
yeah,
it will take me 31st March 23 ka data it will fetch because that is the return file, that is the GST
yes,
turnover data. So that time
yes.
maybe I was in the below threshold like that 1 crore certain crore ke niche mera tha. So in this current year if my turnover increases क्या next year मुझे जाना है या अपने आप साइट उद्यम हैज दैट फैसिलिटी कि यू मूव फ्रॉम माइक्रो टू स्मॉल ऐसा कुछ है ये प्रैक्टिकल बॉटलनेक्स
हाँ, ये प्रैक्टिकल बॉटलनेक है तो सही, एंड यू आर वेरी राइट। अभी अगर ऐसा होता है तो व्हाट वी एज सप्लायर, लाइक फॉर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ 43BH, what we are supposed to do is that we have to ask for the recent उद्यम आधार सर्टिफिकेट, तो इट ऑटोमेटिकली विल गेट अपडेटेड ऑन द साइट कि अभी इस पर्सन का स्टेटस क्या है, अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन टेक
अच्छा,
डिसीजन कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन ही इज।
correct.
नाउ
You were
वी वर
telling
टॉकिंग
something.
अबाउट,
You were telling
हाँ,
something. Sorry.
yeah, we were talking about benefits of registration. So,
हाँ,
as I told you, this is something that's really important for any economy's growth. So, there are some bottlenecks that happen, like for people like you and me who are into micro, small, medium enterprises. तो हमें जो प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं वो क्या क्या आते हैं, तो सबसे पहले वी हैव अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ, नंबर वन इज कैपिटल,
capital.
पैसे कहाँ से आएगा।
समझ
सेकेंड इज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, लाइक डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और लेबर कहाँ से मिलेगा, क्या मिलेगा। एंड थर्ड इज रेगुलेटरी हर्डल। तो इन तीनों पे गवर्नमेंट ने काम किया है। तो व्हेन वी रजिस्टर आवरसेल्फ ऑन एन एमएसएमई साइट, वो तीनों को जो गवर्नमेंट ने काम किया है, जो बेनिफिट का पास ऑन करने की कोशिश की है, वी ऑल्सो आर एलिजिबल टू अवेल दैट बेनिफिट, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी मस्ट गेट रजिस्टर्ड ऑन एमएसएमई। Now, if we look into each and every aspect one by one, Vandana, say for capital purpose, yeah, how does it help when if at all I am registered at MSME? तो सबसे पहले कि I get priority sector lending rates. So अगर आपके client है, like everybody can get themselves registered at MSME, whether you're a trader wholesaler or retailer, or I am a professional, or will can get themselves registered on an MSME registration site. Okay,
I
but
have one question.
43 वाला
प्रीति
43BH section,
प्रीति,
हाँ,
पहले कैसा था? ओनली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड सर्विस सेक्टर वर कवर्ड. नाउ फॉर द सेक ऑफ लेंडिंग, ट्रेडिंग को भी उन्होंने अलाउ किया है. सो ट्रेडिंग इज ओनली फॉर द
हाँ,
पर्पस ऑफ लिमिटेड पर्पस ऑफ लोन. तो हमारा क्वेश्चन अभी, वो तो मैं
हाँ,
बीच
करेक्ट।
में से अब पूछ रही हूँ कि ये जो उन्होंने जो 43BH लाया है, तो एज अ ट्रेडर भी मैं अगर उसमें एनरोल किया है, तो क्या वो
वो
परिमाण
उसको अप्लाई
अप्लाई
नहीं
होगा?
होता है।
अप्लाई हो जाएगा ना?
नहीं नहीं, जब अपन
नहीं,
43BH करेंगे ना डिस्कस, दैट टाइम वी विल
अभी
टॉक
अभी
अबाउट इट
बता.
इन डिटेल, पर उनको वो एप्लीकेबल नहीं है। जस्ट दैट दिस डाउट केम टू योर माइंड, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू से कि हम हमारे क्लाइंट को क्यों एनरोल करें, या हम भी क्यों एनरोल करें,
यस,
तो हमें उसका क्या
करेक्ट.
बेनिफिट है। तो सबसे
व्हाट
पहला
व्हाट द
बेनिफिट तो ये
बेनिफिट्स?
है कि यू गेट इनटू द प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग के उस क्राइटेरिया में, देयर बाय यू कैन आर्ग्यू विद द बैंक। इट्स इनिशियली ही वाज अनरजिस्टर्ड, नाउ ही इज रजिस्टर्ड। अगर आप इसका लोन पीए प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर में लोगे तो आपको इंटरेस्ट रेट में छूट देना
कम.
पड़ेगा। सो दैट वे every client of yours will get benefited once he is enrolled in MSME. And you as a chartered accountant are super benefited because you all are also under the category of service provider. So there are these three categories. One is your manufacturer, and another is service provider, and third is the trader community. Now, service provider and manufacturer, they have some extra benefits in getting themselves enrolled, because certain more sections are applicable to them, like 43BH also. तो उससे उनको ये बेनिफिट होता है कि when it comes to recovery, they get a little edge as per the MSME Act also, and also as per 43B. Now, we'll just discuss one by one. एक हो गया अपना बैंक फाइनेंस। बैंक फाइनेंस में सबसे पहले कि एज आई टोल्ड यू ऑल कि यू गेट इनटू प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग। दूसरा ये है कि व्हेन यू आर इनटू ग्रीन फील्ड, लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल आई वांट टू स्टार्ट समथिंग अन्यू विदाउट एनी बैकग्राउंड, तो तुमको कोई लोन देता नहीं है, बैंक में कोई खड़ा नहीं करता। बट व्हेन विद दिस उद्यम रजिस्ट्रेशन देयर इज अ चांस दैट यू आर बीइंग बेनिफिटेड, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट has launched various schemes. You get a 2 crore तक collateral free loan. So this is possible. So this you can give to your client. Then there are certain things like the margins are reduced. Initially, it used to be कि 50% आप डालोगे, 50% बैंक डालोगे. But in certain industries at certain places, government says कि 90% बैंक डालेगा, 10% आप दो. So this again can be an added benefit that you can give to your client. So that's why bank finance जो part है, there you get an added benefit when you enroll yourself or your clients into MSME. फिर दूसरा आता है कैपिटल में ही कि मेरे को पैसों की कमी पड़ती है, वर्किंग कैपिटल मेरा कम पड़ता है. So there government has seen it is in the MSME Act section 16 itself stated that if any corporate, whether it is another MSME or whether it is a company or any partnership firm or any proprietor for that matter, if they if they are your debtors, they are supposed to repay you within 45 days the amount that has been given to them as a
Whatever
bill.
service or a product you have sold, you should be
हाँ,
getting
for
your
product.
money back. हाँ, तो आपका जो working capital requirement है, that can be addressed to the ROC has also asked you to comply with this outstanding 6 months elder. तो अभी MSME का 45 days है, तो whether there is a written contract or not, by default 45 days में once you are dealing with MSME, it should be paid. That is what I interpret.
नहीं, एक्चुअली इसमें 15 days इज द क्राइटेरिया, बट अगर आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंटर किया तो 45 days. So like for example me and Vandana, I am taking training services from Vandana and I said कि टैली का services मेरे को चाहिए. Now Vandana says okay, she very liberally without taking advance money from me teaches me tally. Okay, now हम दोनों में ऐसा कुछ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ नहीं है, तो मुझे 15 दिन के अंदर अगर पेमेंट नहीं किया तो वंदना कैन पुट अप अंडर सेक्शन 16 ऑफ MSME एक्ट कि इसने मेरे को पेमेंट नहीं किया है. इफ हमने मैंने उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया कि आई विल पे यू 6 months के बाद में, बट शी हैज इशूड अ बिल, तो 6 months का कोई वैलिडिटी नहीं, 45 days में ही आई हैव टू मेक हर पेमेंट. And if I don't make payment within those 45 days, so she has a right to recover interest from me under MSME Act. And
What
this
will be the
MSME,
interest rate? What will be the interest rate?
the interest rate will be thrice that which is governed by RBI. तो अभी की घड़ी में समझो आप 24%, 8 के 3 पट 24% इंटरेस्ट रिकवर कर सकते हो. तो ये आपको आपके क्लाइंट की बेनिफिट के लिए है. मतलब इफ यू हैव अ क्लाइंट हु इज इनटू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और हु इज इनटू सर्विस प्रोवाइडिंग एंड सम डेटर इज नॉट रीपेइंग हिम, तो आप सिंपली साइट पे जाइए, वहां पे देयर इज प्लेस वेयर यू कैन पुट अप योर कंप्लेन. यू हैव टू हैव द and you should be adding one more practice in your day to day practice कि आप क्लाइंट को कहिए कि जो बड़े बड़े डेटर्स है आपके, उनसे कंफर्मेशन आप हर साल लीजिए. सो इफ यू हैव अ डेटर कंफर्मेशन, है ना, कि on 31st कि these are the list of debtors who have not paid me, it's okay, but they have confirmed okay this is outstanding and I'll make the payment. इतना confirmation भी मिल गया, so you can go on to that site, समाधान site, you can put up that
थोड़ा कनेक्टिविटी इश्यू लग रहा है, तेरा आवाज कट हो गया. પ્રીતિની સાઈડથી ઇશ્યુ લાગે છે, મારું ચાલુ છે ને.
Preeti,
the bills and you can tell it to the department itself कि these particular. हाँ.
Preeti,
Yes.
we lost
Yes.
you because your connection was an issue. So we lost you in the
समाधान
last few
साइड से, हाँ,
sentences.
Now
समाधान
can
साइड
you?
से. हाँ.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, but I could hear you throughout here.
बट अभी आपको समाधान साइड से करना पड़ेगा.
Where had you lost me? Like
Register
Hello?
on the Samadhan side after taking debtor's
Hello?
confirmation. You can hear me? Preeti, you can hear us?
समाधान, समाधान. This is the challenge.
Preeti?
हाँ, हाँ.
Yeah, you're frozen. There is no move.
So basically what she was trying to tell us was that okay, there are, if there is no written contract, then 15 days is the yardstick for MSME registered vendors. And they 15 days is if there is no written contract.
Am I frozen even now?
Now you are audible. And the meantime, I was just filling the gap. So again, we have lost her. So
Let her
45
rejoin.
days,
Yeah.
she will rejoin. 45 days is if you have written contract, and if anything more than that also you have done, but you have legitimate right to ask for the payment. अगर तो क्या है, कोई भी client बोलेगा नहीं नहीं मैं तो 90 days में ही payment दूंगा. But as the MSME vendors, and what I understand is that you have a right as per the act to get your payment released within 45 days max. So that is how it works. And if it is not paid within 45 days, then you can have a complaint on registered on a site, and you can demand the interest, and the whatever interest paid by the client and under the tax audit, the same has been disallowed under the Income Tax Act. So whatever interest is paid to MSME vendors, asked by them on a put on a Samadhan side, will be disallowed in income tax. As a CA, we have to give that in our report.
Audit report.
Audit
Yes,
report.
there is
PCT
a
report.
yeah.
We have
Even
to mention specifically. So I was the time when we lost you, I was giving what I understood from what you have said, that 15 days is by default credit period. If some contract is entered, then you cannot have any X amount of contract. It has to be 45
time
days.
से मतलब time से होना ही चाहिए. Am I
हाँ
audible now?
हाँ अब है. So
Okay.
over to
Okay.
you. Over to you.
Yeah. So this is another advantage that you get. The third advantage that you get when you book yourself, I mean, when you know register yourself under MSME, or you ask your client to register under MSME, is that government is providing you an preference to all the startups and MSMEs. 25% of procurement of the government's goods in every department has to be from MSME. So you get that added advantage also. And when there is a bidding or a tendering process, and in that various people are tendering, so there is a 15% margin. Like, say for example, you have a rate of 100 rupees, and the party, say some large scale industry or some medium scale industry, has put up their pricing at something like 90. So this is within 15%. The government will inform you, you see, we have got another set of persons who are giving it at 90 rupees. So if you want, you can again rework on the tender and give. So these are some additional benefits that government has provided. So it's an added shield, you can say, and it's a very advisable thing for you to get registered under MSME. Yes, Vandana, over to
So
you.
now we're very hot as far as chartered accountant is concerned. 43B H. उसके बारे में उसके scenarios, you can also share the screen if you like to give the different sort of nuances. And for the
Yes.
viewers, I have one benefit, as Alpa mentioned, you mentioned that I am a Tally lover. So Tally in Tally Prime will be covering Tally Prime release 5 में MSME आएगा, but release 5 is yet to come. So prior to that, I have tied up with one of my peer who is already having one TDL. तो वो हमारा एक वीएमपी का डिस्काउंट कूपन आज, बिकॉज आज सेशन है एमएसएमई पे, तो प्रीति के साथ वो बेनिफिट मैं बोला पब्लिक एट अ लार्ज कैन अवेल. So I will put up it on a chat description of Zoom as well as YouTube Live as well as on LinkedIn. So whatever is the price, say for multi-user it is 1,000 rupees TDL price. Using my code, you will be able to get it in 500, and silver single user it will get in 300 rupees. So that is a discounted price. तो उनको वो जो MSME नंबर लिख के आ जाएगा, इवन इन
Okay.
देयर ओन बिल, मतलब हमारा खुद का और क्लाइंट का खुद का, और ऑल रिपोर्ट्स शोइंग यू द MSME number as well as micro है, small है, medium है category. So that
is an added advantage.
built in. हाँ वो
So
added
this is
advantage
the
है.
added advantage of coming to Chai Pe Charcha, because you get to know how to, I mean, you can understand the law from anywhere and everywhere, but how to implement law, that's the basic crux of every discussion. And there
That is
Vandana
exactly the practical knowledge that we gain from this charcha is a winning combination with the knowledge that we gain from the speaker also. But the day-to-day knowledge is very important.
See, there is some very few things, scenarios that I can come up with and talk about. I can do that without the slide also. Say if something is being sold on 15th of December. So ideally it should be paid by, yeah, here she has come up with this discount coupon. Yeah, 15th December को कोई चीज का transaction हुआ है तो उसका payment within 15 days if there is no contract, that it should be done by 30th of December, or if there is a contract it should be done by the date of 31st of Jan, right? But this is for the purpose of MSME Act. For Income Tax Act, if you pay it in February, it will still be an allowable expenditure in the year 23 to 24. So, because 43B, as we all know, that 43B refers to allowing the expenses on the in the year in which the payment is made. So, mostly it used to be for GST or for any other expenses or municipal taxes or expenses related to government. We were given the time up till filing of income tax return. So, if it is 30th of September, before that, if you pay the amount, it was an allowable expenditure. But 43BH is being a little tougher. There the days are mentioned. It is 45 days and 15 days. So not before filing of ITR you have to pay. But if it is paid within the year 23 to 24, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इसका. इन शॉर्ट अगर हम अपनी भाषा में उसको समझने की कोशिश करें तो वो ये है कि 14 फरवरी तक के सारे बिल्स आपको 31 मार्च 2024 तक पे कर डालने हैं. So all those bills that have happened, like you have purchased the goods or you have taken some services or anything of that matter, all this, if it is up to 14th Feb, and that is from the registered MSME. Okay. So a person who is registered under MSME, of course, there is a debate on it whether registration is compulsory or not. But I think registration आप पकड़ के चलो, बिकॉज चाय वाला वगैरह भी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है, बट उनको फिर हम लोग इतना दिन वैसे भी उधार नहीं रखते. सो रजिस्टर्ड एमएसएमई से हम कुछ खरीदते हैं तो अप टिल 14 फेब अगर हमने कुछ भी लिया है तो उसका पेमेंट बिफोर 31st मार्च कर डालना है. नाउ इफ द बिल इज ऑफ 15th फेब, then I have to make payment by 1st of April. If the bill is of 16th Feb, I have to make payment by 2nd of April. If the bill is of 17th Feb, I have to make payment by 3rd of April. Now, if I do not make payment by 3rd of April and I make payment on 4th of April, फिर क्या होगा? That amount of bill, whether it is 10 lakh, whether it is 10 rupees, whether it is 10 crores, it will be added to your income for that year, that is 23-24. और उस पे आपको इनकम टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा. So that will be according to the slab that your client is. So 30% of 10 crore, 3 crore आपको कैश भरना पड़ेगा. This 10 crore will be allowable expenditure next year when the payment is made. इसीलिए as an auditor now your duty is to check कि कौन कौन से बिल है जो 14 फेब के आगे के बिल है जो आउटस्टैंडिंग है और उसका पेमेंट का डेट क्या है. और जो 14 फेब के पहले के बिल है अगर दे आर नॉट पेड एंड स्टिल आउटस्टैंडिंग, वो तो डिसअलाउड है ही है, मतलब उसमें तो कोई क्वेश्चन भी नहीं. So this is what is this 45 days and 15 days criteria.
I have a question.
Retailer and wholesaler. This is another thing that Vandana was talking about. कि भाई मैं तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर हूँ तो मेरा क्या. तो now if you're a distributor and you're buying from a manufacturer and that manufacturer is a small or micro enterprise, तो आपको ये लागू है. Now if you're a wholesaler and you're buying from a distributor, तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर इज जस्ट अ ट्रेडर, सो उसका आउटस्टैंडिंग का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दैट डजंट बी, इट्स नॉट कवर्ड अंडर 43BH. दिस बेनिफिट इज नॉट एक्सटेंडेड टू रीसेलर्स. बट नाउ इफ आई एम से ग्रोसरी शॉप, ओके, नाउ इन आवर पार्लेंस, कॉमन पार्लेंस भी से कि रिटेलर है, ये सब कुछ बेचता है. Now generally he doesn't manufacture anything at all, but even he has to be careful. Now how? Because कुछ कुछ चीजें वो खरीदता है छोटे छोटे माइक्रो या स्मॉल या मीडियम साइज एंटरप्राइजेस से. लाइक उसकी सीए तो विल बी अंडर माइक्रो स्मॉल, राइट. फिर दूसरा उसने ब्रेड खरीदा है, वो चिक्की खरीदता है, वो कोई कोई छोटी छोटी चीज खरीदता है जो छोटे छोटे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप है, उनका अगर उद्यम रजिस्ट्रेशन है, तो this particular clause come into action and he has to see that he pays within time, because that will be added to his income. तो ऐसा कोई नहीं है धरती के पटल पे जो इंडिया में है जो 43BH से बच्चा है. यू हैव टू बी केयरफुल. कैन नॉट से कि भाई आप रीसेलर हो, आप रिटेलर हो, तो आपको जरूरत नहीं है इसमें देखने की. एक बार देख लो कि सच में हम मैन्युफैक्चरर से ले रहे हैं या हम रीसेलर से ले रहे हैं. तो रीसेलर से ले रहे हैं तो कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं है, और अगर मैन्युफैक्चरर या सर्विस प्रोवाइडर से ले रहे हैं तो 43BH कम्स इनटू एक्शन.
तो फायदा
यस,
ये हो गया, वी आर इनटू सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, सो दे हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ आवर बिल्स आल्सो.
मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट.
मोस्ट
मतलब ऐसा नहीं
इम्पोर्टेंट
कि
फायदा
पिछले
ये
ऑडिट में
लोग.
पैसे अगले ऑडिट में मिले. दैट इज नाउ नो लॉन्गर
हाँ. आई हैव
सिनेरियो.
वन डाउट.
यस.
सेक्शन में ऐसा नहीं लिखा है जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं कि 43B जनरली रीड्स कि बिफोर फाइलिंग रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम अगर हो गया है तो आई विल अलाउ यू. सो वेदर द सेम एनोलॉजी इज हियर और नॉट, ऐसा नहीं
नो
है.
नो 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 नो. दैट 43B वाला जो है बिफोर फाइलिंग ऑफ रिटर्न, दैट इज फॉर अदर
अदर
एक्सपेंसेस जो
टाइप ऑफ.
गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंस.
और ये स्पेसिफिक उन्होंने कार्व आउट कर लिया है कि दिस
हाँ.
विल बी अलाउड इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर ओनली.
यस.
हाँ.
यस. यस. इसलिए दिस इज रियली ट्रिकी थिंग एंड यू
डेंजरस,
हैव टू
वेरी डेंजरस, वेरी डेंजरस.
वेरी. एंड
हाँ.
यू नो, लाइक पीपल जो टेक्सटाइल्स में है, दे हैड दिस हैबिट कि
90
तीन तीन
days.
महीने का क्रेडिट लेते थे वो
90
लोग
days, आई टोल्ड यू
मैन्युफैक्चरर
ना, आई
से.
एम फ्रॉम टेक्सटाइल. तो 90
या.
days है ही, उधर धारा ही 90 days का है.
हाँ, तो उन लोगों को अभी जो फरवरी के बाद के जो है उस पे बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंटली ध्यान देना है. यू हैव टू पे विद इन 45 days. नहीं तो फिर आप उसको ऑर्डर मत पकड़िए. फिर अगर आप ये बिलिंग अप्रैल में करते हैं तो उसका पेमेंट आप अगले मार्च तक कीजिए, नो प्रॉब्लम. बिकॉज वो 45 days नहीं है, वो वहां पे अप्रैल से आप अगले मार्च तक पेमेंट करते जाइए. पर अगर आपने बिलिंग पिछले साल में किया, उसका पेमेंट नहीं किया, तो
अच्छा.
ये धमाका
So
होगा
this
ही
gives
होगा.
me an idea, Preeti. You mean to say during the year आप डांस कर सकते हो, but at the year end you cannot.
हाँ, बट आई जस्ट डिडंट से इट, आई जस्ट मेंट इट.
तो गवर्नमेंट अभी बोलेगा कल को आप वो भी, जैसे जीएसटी में कैसे 180 days का वो रिवर्सल मारो, फिर जब भरो
हाँ.
वापस इनपुट क्रेडिट लो. सिमिलरली दे आर एक्चुअली, सी एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वी मस्ट अप्रिशिएट द गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग टू गिव फैसिलिटी टू द स्मॉल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, क्योंकि उनका सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज ही वो वर्किंग कैपिटल है.
नहीं, अभी दूसरा भी बात आप देखोगे ना वंदना, कि हम लोग खुद ऑडिटर्स हैं और हमने देखे हैं अपने क्लाइंट्स में क्रेडिटर्स और डेटर्स की लिस्ट पड़ी रहती है. नो
हम्म.
एक्शन इज ऑन. एंड
हम्म.
व्हेन वी टेंड टू आस्क मैडम पेंडिंग ही है, ऐसा है, अब वो सब कम हो जाएगा. नाउ इट विल बी लाइक व्हाट इज इट, रियल टाइम बेसिस
रियल
पे
टाइम, हाँ रियल टाइम,
का
करेक्ट.
बैलेंस शीट की हैंडल
बैलेंस शीट
रहे.
सही मिलेगी अपने को, करेक्ट.
करेक्ट.
Any
करेक्ट.
other? There are people joining us on a live and then ask the very specific question which you have answered already. That traders are, both the parties are traders. They are out of the net. Medium enterprise is already out of net. It is covering only micro and small as far as
Yes.
what is mentioned there.
Yes. Yes.
And my
Yes.
third question was that ke 31st March 23. I again repeat, 31st March 23, the person was micro. Sorry, micro, small and medium. तो small में था, एंड 31st March 24 का टर्नओवर के हिसाब से वो अगर मीडियम में चला जाता है, तो एज अ ऑडिटर क्या वो मीडियम को मुझे लेना है कंसिडरेशन में कि नहीं लेना है, व्हेन यू आर फाइलिंग द रिटर्न ऑफ 24.
आपके पास सर्टिफिकेट जो है उस पे है, तो आपको 31st March 24 को 31st March 23 के सिनेरियो के हिसाब से ही सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा.
हाँ.
बिकॉज, हाँ, बिकॉज द साइट गेट्स अपडेटेड बाय जीएसटी रिटर्न्स एंड बाय
हाँ.
इनकम टैक्स
सो
रिटर्न्स.
1 year
तो
डाउन द
unless,
लाइन ही मिलेगा.
हाँ, तो अनलेस दैट रिटर्न इज अपडेटेड, दैट सर्टिफिकेशन वोंट चेंज. नेक्स्ट ईयर इट मे चेंज.
तो वो तो
ओके.
मई में मेरा हो जाएगा ना, मेरा रिटर्न समझो, मैं माई मार्च रिटर्न विल गो बाय 22nd of April. वर्स कम वर्स सबका 3B GSTR 1 सब कुछ चला जाएगा. हाँ. तो सपोज
नहीं,
मैं 30 अप्रैल को
इनकम.
निकालती हूँ सर्टिफिकेट, तो
नहीं नहीं
तब
नहीं
तक
नहीं
वो
नहीं नहीं.
करो
नेक्स्ट
रह
ईयर का
जाएगा.
नेक्स्ट ईयर का बेनिफिट नेक्स्ट ईयर को मिलेगा, इस ईयर का बेनिफिट इस ईयर को मिलेगा.
हाँ.
That's how it will be.
So we
So,
have to guide the educate the people as far as discussion what we had today had. आप आपका 31 मार्च 2023 को जो था उसी को स्टिक कीजिए और उसी बेसिस पे डिसीजन लेके काम कर लीजिए और सबको गाइड कीजिए कि 45 डेज में तो आपको पेमेंट करना ही करना है.
यस, करेक्ट करेक्ट.
तो
एंड
फिर देखिए.
इसमें एक और चीज जो बोलने जैसी है कि समझो देर इज सम डिस्प्यूट. से आई से कि दिस इज 2023 का बिल. Like say for example, I am Preeti and I have some 10 clients and out of which 2 are really not paying. And they are not paying, matlab,
लास्ट ईयर का 22-23 का भी बाकी है.
there are 2 creditors whom I have not paid and that
ओके
is of previous year, 22-23 का. हाँ?
ओके.
So I have not paid these 2 creditors with previous year. तो उसका इस साल impact होगा क्या? तो no. तो दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. वो जो पिछले साल का आपका था वो पिछले साल का. दिस लॉ इज रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव नहीं है, इट इज प्रोस्पेक्टिव. तो इसलिए पिछले साल का आपको इस साल पेमेंट नहीं किया इसलिए प्रॉब्लम आएगा तो नो, दैट वोंट हैपन. बट इस साल का अगर ऐसा है कि आई एम टेकिंग समथिंग फ्रॉम वंदना previous year also, this year also, and while making payment I am saying I am paying for this year and previous year का मेरा outstanding है, that
दो नहीं
cannot
चले.
happen.
हाँ, दो नहीं
That
चले.
cannot happen. It will work on FIFO basis.
FIFO,
So वो
FIFO.
वाला चालाकी नहीं चलेगा. So that's something that we should be careful about. No, because this question only CA can ask all these innovative and different kind of questions. Okay.
So,
तो वो नहीं है.
any other scenarios comes in your mind which we as a participant should take care?
See, the only thing that I can think of is PDC. Some people might say कि हमने चेक दिया है, पोस्ट डेटेड चेक दिया है तो क्या है, मतलब on 31st I gave check to everybody and anybody. So whether that will be considered as payment or not. तो there have been case laws. I mean actually ऐसा law में या act में या ऐसा कहीं specifically नहीं लिखा है. But when a PDC is given या draft is given और वो 2-3 महीने का है या जो भी है, it will not be considered payment. So that you have to be very careful. आपको चेक देना है तुरंत वाला, दो इट इज नॉट प्रेजेंटेड, दैट इज डिफरेंट, वो बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन में आएगा. तो पीडीसी देके आपने पेमेंट किया है ऐसा अगर आपका कहना है तो दैट वोंट बी एक्सेप्टेड, उसको नहीं पकड़ा जाएगा एज पे.
That won't stand in the eyes of law. You need
Yeah,
to
that won't stand.
specifically issue the check today and the other party has not deposited. That is not my
हाँ
lookout.
हाँ.
बट वो तो फिर हम फोन पे बोलेंगे 10 दिन के बाद डालना.
प्रैक्टिकल चाय पे चर्चा.
मतलब ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना सिनारियोस कि भैया अभी थोड़ा क्रंच है. ये होता है बट सबके साथ होता है. तो इन दैट सिनेरियो का गवर्नमेंट के नॉट स्ट्रेच अप टू दैट कि क्या है
So
बट
again this Vandana, I have not said that very clearly.
No, see, what I was trying to make it happen, see, even government is a practical, वो भी human being ही है ना, वहां फेसलेस नहीं है, वहां पे भी इंसान बैठते हैं. यहाँ कायदा बनता है, वो कायदा भी कोई इंसान ही बना रहा है. कायदा इज नॉट क्रिएटेड बाय दी कंप्यूटर्स और टेक्नोलॉजी. In the era of technology, the government is trying to make everything online, which will in turn help the economy to grow. See, basically intention is to grow the economy. बट अभी इतना बड़ा अपना तो 130 करोड़ पब्लिक, उसमें कितने लोग टैक्स पेयर है, कितना आधा. अब भी एक आया था ना, इतने तो आधार अभी लिंक भी नहीं हुआ है इनकम टैक्स के साथ और काफी सारे लोगों ने तो रजिस्ट्रेशन भी नहीं लिया है. तो हमारा जो आज का चाय पे चर्चा था उसका क्रक्स आपकी तरफ से, मतलब आई एम सो हैप्पी कि एवरीबडी हैज फर्स्ट अंडरस्टूड व्हाट इज माइक्रो टर्नओवर इज द क्राइटेरिया एंड योर प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट. सो इट इज आइदर वन में आप एक्सीड किया तो यू विल फॉल अंडर दैट. इट्स इट लाइक दैट, राइट? इट इज म्यूचुअली
हाँ.
एक्सक्लूसिव ना, म्यूचुअली
Yes.
एक्सक्लूसिव. या तो
नहीं, but
प्लांट
you
में 1
get
करोड़ है या
yourself
तो
registered
टर्नओवर
as well.
में जो क्राइटेरिया है आपका. So it is
Hmm.
mutually exclusive. Once you fall in that, you get yourself registered, it is better because you will get all the benefit which is government is providing. And I think 250 से ज्यादा schemes available है ना MSME के लिए, different different names में. मतलब फिशरीज की
नहीं,
अलग है.
another added advantage कि
हाँ.
ना आपको अगर आप सच में I mean if you have been registered and you fall within the schemes तो उसमें you get huge amount of subsidy. Like for example there is something called as Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. So there you get subsidy up to 35% if you come. And with this government, what they have done is that they have mixed OBC, BC, and women entrepreneurs together. So initially, like for open category, if the subsidy is 15%, and for BC and OBC, it will be 35%. This 35% will be given even for women category. So आपको added advantage है. You can tell your client कि if they bring in women entrepreneurs, what benefit they can give, what are the kind of loans that they can go for, mudra loans बोलो या जो भी है, and then what kind of added subsidies can be given to them. There are numerous ways of the way government gives subsidies. उसमें से एक subsidy जो है वो होता है capital subsidy, जिसमें ऐसा है कि you are given subsidy upfront. माने जब काम चल रहा है तो आपका जो काम चालू है उसका 35% का वैल्यू दे पुट अप इनटू द बैंक. The bank doesn't give you that subsidy immediately, but bank has given you that loan of that amount without interest. So you are getting to use that money throughout. And 3 साल आपने वो प्रोजेक्ट बराबर से चलाया, बैंक का लोन बराबर से चुका है, there is no problem. That amount is credited to you. So this is one way of getting subsidy. Another advantage in if you get yourself registered in MSME is that कि आपको additional depreciation मिलता है section 32 के अंदर. So this is income tax benefit. Otherwise also there are benefits like there can be interest subvention. कुछ कुछ जगहों पे जैसे फार्मर्स का अभी स्कीम है 29th of February 2024 तक अगर आप अप्लाई करते हो फार्मास्यूटिकल्स में तो आपको सबवेंशन मिलेगा. इंटरेस्ट 5% से कम मिलेगा. मतलब जो बैंक आपको चार्ज कर रही है, समझो बैंक इज चार्जिंग यू समथिंग लाइक 10-11%, सो 5% सबवेंशन मिलेगा. Okay, so this is one way of government helping the MSMEs. Another is that the electricity का अगर आपको कुछ चार्ज पड़ता है उसमें 1 रुपए 2 रुपए रेट कम लगेगा. That's another. I think textile में आप हो वंदना तो you might be knowing that कि electricity duty में deduction मिलता है. फिर there is I mean these are some new ways. So the way GST में there is a refund. Like I remember कि COVID के time पे there was क्या बोलते हैं उसको बूस्ट फॉर ऑक्सीजन प्लांट्स. तो वो जो ऑक्सीजन प्लांट वाले हैं उनको 90% तक कंट्रीब्यूशन इसका था, बैंक का था, और उन्होंने जो भी जीएसटी भरा है तो वो जीएसटी का उनको 100% जितना उन्होंने प्लांट एंड मशीनरी में डाला है उतना उनको रिफंड मिलेगा. सो देर आर मेनी स्कीम्स एज यू वर टॉकिंग अबाउट. wherever you form or whatever you apply for, you get benefit of that. Yes.
There are 2 questions by the participants. First
Yeah.
is by Pooja. Okay, if supplier does not fall under tax audit, then also it will be disallowed under income tax. So I think you will have to answer. You will have to answer.
So what do you think is what I want to know first?
मेरे हिसाब से 43B section is not only attached to income tax act, it is across the taxpayers, right?
Yes. So yes, it will be disallowed.
Any SSC, any SSC. The word whenever it starts, या तो वो जो है SSC under tax audit ऐसा word है तो ही वो section audit tax audit वाले को applicable है.
हाँ. So yes.
So yes, मतलब you specify to them. It is applicable to everyone.
Yeah, it is applicable.
Each and everyone.
Everyone.
Even if you are not in tax audit, this section is applicable, right? So
yes.
Anybody on this earth in India, filing the return. And there is disallowance for retention. That is Viresh has asked.
What retention is it about? I don't know. Whether
suppose 100 रुपए का हम जब बिजनेस करते हैं ना तो हम बोलते हैं जब तक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खत्म नहीं होगा 5% will be kept as a retention money. And on the
5 or 10%, whatever it will be, correct.
Okay.
We'll make the less payment that way.
There are not only retention, there was another query that I had got even in the Goa conference, and it was about कि समझो we don't pay them the GST amount. जब तक आपका GST रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होता तब तक हम उतना पेमेंट नहीं करेंगे. तो उसका क्या है, तो दिस विल बी एज एन अनपेड. जब भी आप उसका पेमेंट करोगे वो अलाउ होगा, बट जीएसटी का ये बेनिफिट है कि जीएसटी एज इट इज डजंट कम इन P&L. प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट में तो आता नहीं है ना जीएसटी. इट कम्स इन ड्यूटीज एंड टैक्सेस, इसलिए उसका डिसअलाउंस नहीं होगा. बट ये रिटेंशन वाली पार्ट है, ये P&L में आ रहा है अगर खर्चा, तो ऐसा किधर भी लिखा नहीं है कि रिटेंशन है तो अलाउड है, नहीं तो नहीं अलाउड है. तो ये डिसअलाउ होगा, जब पेमेंट करेंगे तब वो अलाउ होगा. So am I clear, Vandana? Are
No,
the
yes,
two
madam.
scenarios clear?
One question:
हाँ,
if you are showing GST, suppose not net off, but if you are showing gross amount in GST, we
हाँ,
debit to the
तब
front, then what happens?
then it will be disallowed.
This is okay.
हाँ, तो ऐसा है कि
Thank you.
फिर अपने को ग्रॉस दिखाना, नेट दिखाना, दिस डिसीजन needs to be
System
taken.
of accounting depends. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Correct.
Another question was, is the due date is a public holiday? Then we can pay next day and will it be allowed? Matlab, the calculation is very stringent. Yeah, 45 days, 45th day was on a, say 26th January or a 15th August or a bank holiday.
फिर ऐसा कुछ पब्लिक, I don't really think that there has been any mention in the definition कि ये पब्लिक हॉलिडे है या नहीं है या कुछ भी है. उधर क्लियरली 45 डेज इतना ही लिखा है. 45 वर्किंग डेज लिखते तो शायद हम लोग ये सब चीजों के बारे में सोचते.
सोच सकते
So
हैं.
that I don't think it is there in the section कि working ये word है, ऐसा मुझे लगता नहीं है. But if it is, let me just check once.
हाँ, जरा
43
सेक्शन
PH.
पढ़ लेते हैं.
हाँ, whether the working days बात वहां पे ऐसा लिखा है क्या, तो any sum payable by assessee beyond the time limit specified in section 15. So working days कहीं लिखा नहीं है. And section 15 of MSME Act भी देख लेते हैं अपन. So I think public holiday वगैरह वगैरह ये सब कुछ आएगा नहीं उसमें. Maximum period is 45 days from the date of delivery. उधर भी working ये word नहीं यूज किया. और date of receipt of services. So no, मतलब वो वाला नहीं है एंगल. वर्किंग है, छुट्टी है, ऐसा सब कुछ नहीं.
Then we have to make payment before due date or one day before.
Yes. Even if you enter into contract, even for government it is compulsory, sir. मतलब if you are dealing with government and government का payment बाकी है तो government को भी compulsorily payment करना है. And you can go to that site, समाधान site, and ask government कि हमारा payment time पे करो, we have delivered you goods. So it is that important.
Thank you.
ऐसा.
Thank you.
Yes.
So हमें खुद को भी रजिस्टर करना है, जो क्लाइंट अभी तक नहीं किए हैं उनको भी करवाना है. We have to educate them.
See, you get benefit of this. एक तो आप रजिस्ट्रेशन का मतलब इट्स रजिस्ट्रेशन इज वेरी सिंपल. जस्ट आपको नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज डालने हैं और बाकी सब तो वो साइट बेचारा गोला कर देता है, बताता है. सो यू कैन चार्ज देम फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन सेइंग दैट ये दिखाओगे बैंक को तो आपको फायदा हो जाएगा. So that is one opportunity I can say. You should
we
get
do
your
charge because टाइम तो जाता ही है. See, देखो एनीथिंग और सही जाना चाहिए. ऐसा भी नहीं आप कुछ भी डाल के भेज सकते हो, ऐसा भी नहीं है.
right.
उसमें डेट ऑफ एस्टेब्लिशमेंट डालना पड़ता है, कब चालू हुआ था वो सब डालना पड़ता है. तो
और वो दूसरा इसमें ये बेनिफिट है कि आपके क्लाइंट को आपको दिख रहा है कि ही इज फेसिंग स्ट्रेस, लाइक कोई डेटर्स उनको पेमेंट नहीं कर रहा है, क्या नहीं कर रहा है, तो आप उसको उसमें असिस्ट कर सकते हो.
हाँ, ये
समाधान साइट पे जाइए.
अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर सीए आल्सो. They can
Yeah,
guide
yeah.
them, advise them. Correct.
Yeah, very nice opportunity, and the site is not that difficult to work with. मतलब any CA who is already in practice can add this service easily and get it done. तो वो आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हो.
आप
And
वो
the site
समाधान
is
साइट
responsive.
मतलब उसका वो एड्रेस दे दीजिए ना यहाँ पे चैट बॉक्स में.
Actually, I'll send you that. I'll
हाँ,
send
वो
you
जरा
that.
बाद में भेज दीजिए तो हम सबको वो क्या है समाधान, सबको मालूम है कि ये सब अवेलेबल है, बट कहाँ करना है कैसे करना है वहां पे लोग अटक जाते हैं.
हाँ, तो एक ऐसा है उसका
कंप्लेंट
मतलब
वाला आपने
या
बताया, एटलीस्ट वी नीड टू
मेरे को यहाँ पे
इन्फॉर्म मी.
सामने एमएसएमई समाधान, एमएसएमई समाधान ऐसा करके आप डालोगे तो आ जाता है, वो साइट ही सामने आता है .gov.in. तो उसमें आप जाओ तो आपका वो. एंड वन ऑफ माय क्लाइंट्स लाइक उसका नोटिस ही गया तो उसको पेमेंट आ गया. मतलब 2 बार उसको वैसा हुआ. एंड थर्ड टाइम क्या हुआ कि मीटिंग बुलाई गई. मतलब द क्लाइंट वाज फ्रॉम जलगांव एंड हिज सप्लायर वाज फ्रॉम गुजरात. तो they were called in Nasik and उनका एक arbitration का proper meeting हुआ. There was a contract signed कि I will not take interest from you. Yeah, this is the site, right? samadhanmsc.gov.in. तो उसमें there was a proper legal document prepared and accordingly he will be getting his payment. So the site also works and government is pretty serious about the site. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस आप complaint डालो कुछ नहीं होता, वैसा नहीं है.
Okay, there is one more question on YouTube live that we will take up before we wind up. So is it applicable to government dealing with MSME? I think that you answered, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it is अच्छा किसी और ने भी पूछा है कि how it can happen when the SS is not supposed to maintain books of accounts. 44 AD में अगर रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं तो ये सेक्शन
तो
एप्लीकेबल है.
नहीं, तब तो आप सभी चीजों से वंचित हो जाते हैं.
हाँ,
तब तो
वहां
अलग
पे
ही चीज
वैसे
है.
हाँ मेरे हिसाब से तो वो क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आएगा कि वहां तो
हाँ,
अलाउंस डिसअलाउंस क्वेश्चन मतलब डेप्रिसिएशन भी डिसअलाउ मतलब वो करते ही नहीं है तो इट इज
कुछ
आउट
नहीं
ऑफ द नेट
उसका
हाँ
तो
करके.
हाँ, इट जस्ट सेफ एंड
हाँ
ऐसा है
खाली 44
44.
एडीए जो है लाइक और पार्टनरशिप फर्म रहती है और वो जाते हैं तो उनका पार्टनर्स रेम्युनरेशन पहले वो भी चक्कर चलता था कि ऊपर डिक्लेयर किया तो नाउ आई थिंक दैट इज आल्सो डन अवे विद वो रेम्युनरेशन एवरीथिंग इज अलाउड व्हाटएवर इज फाइनल वहां पे मुझे एक क्वेश्चन था अगर आपके पास आंसर है तो 44
हाँ,
एडीए मींस अ प्रोफेशनल
हाँ,
पार्टनरशिप फर्म डिक्लेयरिंग 50% उसके बाद मुझे पार्टनरशिप रेमुनरेशन
नहीं,
अलग होगा नहीं होगा.
रेम्यूनरेशन पहले आएगा, उसके
हाँ
बाद 50% आना चाहिए.
हाँ तो
अगर
जो
आपका
बच्चा
रेम्यूनरेशन जाने के बाद 50% से इनकम कम आता है तो देन यू डोंट सेटिस्फाई द 44 एडीए वाला.
हाँ so in that
हाँ,
case you need to go for audit
या टू गो फॉर.
compulsory.
So
So
it is
that's
in fact like what we have told our clients is if you have partnership आप audit करवा लो.
better so
Yeah,
always better.
yeah.
So
चलो.
over to Alpa madam. I think आज की चाय पे चर्चा was very fruitful. हमारी
Thank
चाय
you.
भी अच्छी थी टेस्टी थी हमारी प्रीति मैडम भी बहुत बढ़िया. उनको गोवा में सुनने के बाद मतलब मैंने मिस किया था तो आई टुक द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हियर हर ओवर वर्चुअल चाय पे चर्चा.
Yeah,
And Alpa
thank you
had
so much.
vouched for you.
Yes,
Yes.
Vandana, absolutely. I
Hmm.
was lucky enough to help her with the slides at the Goa conference, and
Okay.
I'm telling you, your slides were also very self-explanatory. It will be great if you can share those over here
Please
also.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll
and
send the slide. Yeah,
हाँ
yes,
अगर आप पीपीटी चैट बॉक्स में डाल दोगे तो भी चलेगा.
chale. Okay, we'll do.
because the amount of knowledge that you have and the fact that it's not just a PPT presentation, you
Hmm.
just didn't need any presentation at that time, and you were on
Hmm.
fire at that day. And it
Thank
was
you.
it was an equal fiery chat that we had right now, with the right
Oh, yeah.
context, of course. And we all have immensely gained out of this. I have a personal view to put in front of you as far as Section 43BH is concerned, because I really feel for the assessees that they are facing genuine hardship. It's an irony that even if the credit period is not over, where it is more than 45 days in certain cases, the assessee has to suffer the tax amount in the first year. Of course, from the second year, maybe वो adless हो जाएगा तो वो उसका कैश
हो जाए.
फ्लो मैनेज हो
हाँ
जाएगा.
रेवेन्यू न्यूट्रल हो जाएगा
So
वो.
yeah, so that cash position is in a trouble. It is also very difficult in the first place to identify who the MSMEs are, because nobody would be coming forth with their turnover. And चलो ठीक है, वो इनवॉइस में मेंशन करते हैं कुछ लोग.
One thing I missed out is that कि tell your clients there is a proper note that has to be given on every invoice. You mention कि ये मेरा MSME number है. I come
Correct.
within this section 43H because this is your duty to inform कि you are under MSME. This is your MSME number and मेरे को इतना days credit period applicable है. So you
Correct.
tell your clients that कि they have
Yeah.
to get it printed on the invoice.
Yeah, so that is an activity to do, an additional activity for before the year end. And
Yeah.
also there is one last thing which I really feel for is these micro and small enterprises. People may not prefer to work with them at all because of these things. Because there are medium enterprises. There is a medium enterprise, for example, a garment industry. Easily 120, 90 to 120 days credit. if they are enjoying a 90 to 120-day credit from a medium enterprise, they would not go to a micro enterprise, and they would prefer them over them. So that
Yeah,
is one challenge.
these kind of challenges people thought of even when GST had
GST
come
came.
in. Like
GST came.
Yes,
because ट्रांसपोर्टर के साथ भी ऐसा ही था कि जीएसटी वाला ट्रांसपोर्टर से बिना जीएसटी वाला ट्रांसपोर्टर करे क्या, फिर ये वो. बट सी ओवर द years that I have in this practice, I have seen that it brings about a positive change, at least in the attitude of the people. And when
correct,
these
correct,
platforms are available, na, like समाधान available है, ये available है, वो available है, people become aware of their rights. And
correct,
then they actually get a bargaining power. कि देखिए
right,
आप ये करिए. एंड मे बी लाइक गवर्नमेंट हैज हैड अ पॉलिसी कि 25% हम एमएसएमई से लेंगे. मे बी गवर्नमेंट कम्स अप विद समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट आल्सो फॉर लार्जर एंटरप्राइजेस कि
correct.
आपको भी एमएसएमई को सपोर्ट करना ही है, एंड यू शुड आल्सो सी दैट यू प्रोक्योर फ्रॉम एन एमएसएमई. तो
Correct,
शायद
correct.
ये मे बी
I know maybe the attitude can change, but one of my clients faced this
हाँ
typical problem. His normal creditors balance is say around 9 crores. So
हाँ.
this month end he has to bring it down to 3 crores because
हाँ.
most of the creditors that he has is from MSME. So he's like, ये तो
Hmm.
बहुत बड़ी मुश्किल हो जाएगी, मेरा working capital पूरा disturb हो जाएगा. So
This
I
will
can't
happen
help
with
him any.
builders also.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
with builder clients, you have to be very
yes,
careful क्योंकि
very
वो
careful.
सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वर्कर्स रहते हैं और सारे एमएसएमई में रहते हैं उधर रजिस्टर्ड. सो दोज विद बिल्डर्स, बिल्डिंग वाले, you have to be very careful, check out, because
Correct,
there's going to be a good amount of crunch. And
correct, correct.
because this is the duty cast upon us started accountants, we have to report. We have nothing in our
We
hands.
have nothing
So
in our hands. Yes,
yeah, and so that is something that the client needs to really seriously think about and
yeah,
work on.
correct,
Yeah,
and make representations with the correct organizations.
yeah. At
So
least industry wise, they can go ahead.
they can, yes, yes. So thank you so much, Preeti, for your in-depth. Of course, we could hear one more hour from you with the other benefits that MSME has, other aspects of the MSME Act other than 43B. We can always, Vandana, we can go back to her and keep one more session, and
Yeah,
would love to have you again. Thank you so
thank
much for the deliberation. Thank you, Vandana, for being spot on with the questions and asking the right questions. Thank you, participants, for coming and gracing the occasion. Thank you so much, all of you.
yeah. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.